Well, the latest I can tell you is that the station has been cordoned off. As you can imagine, there's a large security cordon around what is the biggest station in Europe, in fact. So journalists like me are being kept well away at the moment. What I've heard is that 6 people were wounded just before 7 a.m. this morning. One extremely seriously. He or she is in intensive care. I can also tell you that the knifeman responsible has been neutralised. That's the jargon that the police and indeed the Interior Ministry is using. It sounds to me as though he is not dead, but he too is in intensive care, and surgeons are fighting to save his life. There's no motivation known at the moment. We have no names for those who have been attacked, but it appears that this attacker was stabbing people at random. He turned up at the beginning of the rush hour, just before 7 a.m. As you say, there are trains leaving from here all the time for London and other parts of Northern Europe. It's hugely busy normally, not just at that time, but at this time, a lot quieter now, again, because the main station has been cordoned off. A lot of information still to come out. A judicial inquiry will be launched, and we'll be getting more information as the morning goes on.
And Peter, we're currently looking at live pictures at Gare du Nord station, which, as you say, appears to be heavily guarded right now in response. But France, sadly, is no stranger to attacks, isn't it? Are authorities prepared for such attacks?
Well, as you say, there have been terrible terrorist attacks since January 2015 is really when the worst ones started. There have been organised terrorist attacks involving terrorist groups, but there have also been, sadly, a lot of attacks by what they call lone wolf individuals. These can sometimes not be terrorists at all. They can sometimes be people with severe psychiatric problems. And of course, the French government has put lots of soldiers on the street. You see them everywhere normally. Lots of police on the street. Lots of measures have been taken, not least of all on the transport system. But as today's attack has shown, what on earth can any security force do about somebody who just appears out of nowhere, gets a knife? It may well be a kitchen knife, it may be any kind of knife that is picked up from somewhere, and starts stabbing people on what is a very, very busy transport system here in Paris. It's literally impossible to police properly, and so these attacks continue. It's a huge perennial problem. It goes on, and again, as we saw this morning, the security services are left baffled as to how to stop these attacks happening.